How's everybody doing today? Hang on a second. I gotta clean my lenses. Phones have a tendency to get dirty because we tote them around so much. How is everybody doing this beautiful Sunday? Now, if you see me talking like this and you don't see some of the chat that I'm talking to and about, it's because I'm simultaneously live streaming on Our Half Acre Homestead and on Life with the Wolfies. I'm not sure which one I'm on. But now let me just pop out the chat here. Hang on a second. Over here. And this is Our Half Acre Homestead. And this is Life with the Wolfies. How are you? Hi, Linda Bob. Yes, I was making my tea. Just gave myself a nice full cup. Well, we've had a busy weekend. Yesterday, hey, Linda Bop, Seashell, Joe Mama. I'm doing pretty good today. I'm in pain. I am in pain, but I also slept really well because, I took medicated tea when I got home. I didn't do much while I was at Angie's. All I did was cook dinner with the help of her daughter, Jessica. Howie and Jessica's boyfriend did all the drywalling. Hang on a second. Okay. Hey, Matt, how are you? Samantha, Tina LaBelle, and Sylvester Celeste. Hey, Manette. And, oh my goodness, Seashell and, oh, wait, I better turn the chat off on this one here so that all I have to do is the live chat here. Hey, Donna, how are you? And Natalie, 4-day homestead. Anyway, so yesterday we went to Angie's house, and Angie's daughter and her boyfriend came. And, he's like Howie. He's just a workhorse. And he does this kind of stuff for a living. So they just went right at it and got a lot more done than Howie would have alone. Right? So, hey, crazy but not dangerous, and Shirley. Excuse me, now my nose is itchy because the dryer vent came off the back. Hang on a second. The dryer vent came off the back of the dryer, and I can't get to it, and Howie's relaxing. He had like something fall on his head. I didn't see it, but I guess there was, when they were bringing in drywall, there was, I guess, hangers up in the roof of the garage, and there was stuff on them, and I guess something came down and bonked Howie on the head. So I gave him a massage with some, liniment. That's how romantic it gets these days, folks. Oh, honey, can I give you a massage with some liniment on your neck? Just do my shoulder, please, darling. What's going on, Celeste? You fell and broke a rib. Oh, honey. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, I saw that. And so you are connected. I figured the Matt and the Linda, the Bop thing, there's not too many people I know named Bop, right? So you'll feel better soon, honey. Just don't give in to shallow breathing. I know deeper breathing is painful. But if you don't practice deep breathing with a cracked or broken rib, I'm not a doctor, but pneumonia is an issue. That's why they don't necessarily strap people's ribs anymore. Husband, well, very good. Hi, Tina Harvey. Oh, he's already feeling better. He's enjoying the races today. He did enjoy the races. Something he bought on YouTube or from YouTube or something that he wanted to see today. So he settled himself up on the couch with his blankie and his boxers and his dog and pillow, and ate chips and watched ate his bag of chips and watched the races. So it'll heal too tight and breathing will be a problem later down the road. So deep breaths are better. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, Becky, how's it going, sweetheart? So, hi, Joe. I haven't caught a live in a long time. Hey, Urban, how's it going? So we went and did that. And we were so tired that we went straight to bed as soon as we got home. We were in bed at like 8 o'clock last night. And but I got my light cage up. That's going to be a video coming this week on our half acre homestead. Hey, Gene Kubicek and Tina the Weber, and Black Rock. Hi, Lawrence. All right, I can't keep interrupting myself to say hi, or I'm going to forget what I'm talking about. On Friday, before we went, because Howie wanted to relax today and watch his races that he pre-purchased, right? So he came home early on Friday. He did the groceries on his way home. You guys saw the video, right? And then he went out and tapped 18 trees. And he promised this year to listen to me when I say, don't add sap once the syrup has begun to form. Do not add more sap if it's boiled down already some, or you're going to contaminate it and you're not going to get the right amount of sugar for preservation properties, which he found out when the syrup we did the last time turned moldy. So, excuse me. Hey, hi, Tammy. Watching a car race too. I got teary-eyed during the open jet flyover. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Hi, Tammy. Hello, everyone. I made it through my opioid detox. Good job. I just got out of the hospital due to pneumonia, but I'm starting to feel better. I have missed you all. Good job, Tammy. Good for you. That's not easy. That's one of the reasons I'm really grateful that I'm allergic to opioids, because I am an addict. Well, I'm not an addict. I'm an addict. I mean, I have an addictive personality. I'm an alcoholic, right? They kind of go hand in hand. And if I wasn't allergic to opioids, I'd be addicted to them. Simple, full stop. Marijuana is my medication, and it's not something, the only thing I miss if I'm, say, traveling through the States and I can't take it with me, the only thing I miss is the fact that I have to take Tylenol and muscle relaxers, and I just miss the convenience of something more organic, right? After all the years, you'd think Howie would know. Grandy knows best. Well, he does try. But, he's he got it because, I put a bottle of syrup down on the table one day when he was having his breakfast. And I did it on purpose because there was mold on top. Said if it doesn't have the right amount of sugar content, it's going to go moldy, period, full stop. And it did. Unless you keep it in the refrigerator, but then it's still too runny. I've been doing a major clean out. Little by little, I'm getting done. Bedroom is done. Yeah, I was pretty busy on Friday. Thursday night, I didn't get sleep till 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I went to sleep for an hour, got up, made Howie's breakfast, lunch, got him off to work. And then I power slept for 3 hours dead, just didn't move. Right? Why can't you bring it to the States? Most everywhere here is legal. I don't even know if I can get into the States yet. Right? I've heard of wild lettuce, Gothic Harlequin. I've heard of it. I'm gonna try that this year. I'm gonna look into that this year. What's going on? What did I miss? I hope we get a lot this year too, because other than the cans that I got on sale for $6.99, which is a bargain beyond bargain, of Quebec maple syrup, I hate buying something that we can do ourselves for free. It just takes a couple of weekends, We don't have jab restrictions. Yeah. Last time a friend went to go into the States, a friend of a friend, my friend Carolyn's friend went to go in the States, and they asked her if she was jabbed, and she said no. And they said, we want your driver's license. They took if you're crossing a border, all you need is your passport. They have no right to ask you for your driver's license or anything else if they're not going to let you in. Right? So, and they turned her away. So apparently May 13th or something is the point where we get to cross over into the States. But we may still not be welcome, right? Texas is not legal yet. I wish it was. The tall dandelions. Yeah, I know they're not a real dandelion. They're actually wild cabbage is what you're thinking of. They call it wild lettuce, but it's wild cabbage. I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me. Watching your canning with Mrs. V videos, wanting to can more this year. You know what? It's a really good idea. It's a really good idea because this is something I'm thinking about, right? When somebody told me that they went to their favorite deli to get a sandwich and there was no fries, no pickle, no drink, and the bloody sandwich was $16. And they said, even if you get it from the farm, yeah, it is expensive. Have you heard about the young man who was arrested because of gender question? No, I have no idea about that. Opioid detox was the worst thing I've ever been through. It was so very hard. I wish weed was legal in Georgia and Tennessee. Well, I'll tell you something. There's no detoxing off of weed. There's not. The only thing when you go off weed is the pain, right? And it doesn't take, it's not a painkiller. It doesn't take the pain away. It helps you manage the pain by relaxing you. It's that simple. Hey, Edie Murray. Comfrey poultice on broken ribs. You got to be careful. But yes, they used to call Comfrey bone knit or bone set. Oh, about the $16 sandwich. Thank you, Linda Bob. So restaurants are charging extra because they're going to blame shipping issues and all this other stuff. But there's also the fact that during the pandemic, many people realized many people found out the hard way what we already knew, that when you cook from scratch at home, you're spending pennies on the dollar of what you would pay in the restaurant. There's that. And it's healthier because you know what's in it because you did it yourself. So what's happening is through this pandemic, when all the restaurants were shut down, they're having trouble making up the revenue, right? If you need jars, buy before the harvest season. The price of jars are down in price here. Good idea. So there's that. Now, what if grocery stores find out the same thing? When people start hitting the farmer's market and clearing out and canning the stuff. Hi, Kathy. And canning the stuff that's on the clearance rack and growing their own gardens. Because we have a lot of options rather than paying the prices that the grocery stores are giving us. If you can garden, there's one way. If you've got access to a farmer's market, and yes, their prices are up, but look under their tables at the back of the stall where they've got wrinkled stuff. Do the clearance racks, even if you can't garden, right? Grocery stores are going to start realizing that people aren't shopping because they're not paying those prices. We're going to roast a chicken, and afterwards we're going to put it in the blender with the chicken juice and some broth and some gelatin, and we're going to make our own friggin' lunch meat, right? Knit bone comfrey. If you can dig down and get a piece of the root, Run it underwater and rub off the dirt with your hands. Grate it and then place it on the skin, unbroken skin. Then wrap it with a bandage. There you go. There you go. Bone knit. Terry, those are nebulizer that you breathe albuterol. Though I know I have one. Okay. Do you have a spirometer? Okay. At the end of the month, I will be doing my CSA as well as my garden. I will harvest tickets, and I cleaned out the freezer to freeze some. Well, I'm going to be you're getting a couple of, you're getting a bitchy video on our half-acre homestead tomorrow, because I got a surprise when I opened my eggs after paying the price I paid for them. And then I got a bit of a stronger premonition of what may be behind it. I found strawberries for 96 cents a pound this morning. So I bought 10 pounds, going to try to make strawberry jam for the first time. You know what, BlackRock? I got a video for that. Just make sure that when you puree your strawberries, that you do equal amounts of sugar to berries, like liquid berries. So, and never do more than 6 cups. So you do 6 cups of pureed berry, 6 cups of sugar, and then you just cook it. You don't need added pectin, nothing. You just cook it until it gels on a plate that you've had in the freezer. You get a plate out of the freezer and you drop a bit of jam on it, and that's how you know. Our eggs are close to $4 a dozen. That's the thing. So, hi, Helen. How are you? I was going to go to Costco, but I realized that, I didn't have as much money as I thought I did at the end of the pay this week. And so I'm going to save it until when Howie's next pay and my pay coincide, which is this month. And I'm going to go to Costco, and the only thing I'm buying is butter and flour and baking powder and probably some cheese. I'm not going, and some dishwasher tabs, because I'm going and I'm buying two 50-pound bags of flour, because bread, the homemade bread, like someone said to me, homesteading is a big movement in the US and has a huge viewership. Well, Donna, I've been doing it for a long time, and guess what? We're getting chickens this year. Not laying hens, unless I can figure out a way. But I'm not gonna put that on Howie. But I'm gonna get some meat birds this year. Hopefully 10 chickens, 2 turkeys, and I don't give a crap about, I'd rather ask. I'm not going to talk to my township, because it's none of their business. I've raised so much stuff on this land that that they come after me for 10 chickens and 2 turkeys. They'll be met with resistance. Civil disobedience is what I call it. So, I found out now, Angie, this is why I found this out yesterday. We saw turkeys down in our ravine the other day. So it's like, yeah, we're putting a feeder up. We're putting a feeder up, because then the spring hunt comes, and I'll be fattening them all winter, and the spring hunt comes, and Howie's going to get a license. But buy 4 of the 50-pound bags of flour. Okay. The last time I bought the 50-pound bags of flour, they were like $21 a bag, $21.99 a bag or something. And I got, and I had like 135 pounds of flour. I'm down to 1 5-pound bag in the freezer, 10 pounds in the bucket on top of my fridge, and 6 half-gallon jars. And I'm like, wow, right? So, so I want, like even I said to Howie, don't throw up my rabbit cages either, because if I find somebody selling rabbit kits for like, $3 a pop or something, I'll be bringing home rabbits and raising them too, because I miss some canned rabbit. Eggs in the States have dropped significantly. Beef prices are rising 40%. Well, we're really lucky we got beef in the freezer that we bought in December. And I'm already arranging for another side of beef from the same farmer and a pig. Hey, Lori. Hi. Greetings, Bev. Today I'm hurting so bad from the bone cancer. My body is cramping. Please, community, I need your prayers and good vibes. Absolutely, honey. You don't have to try. You just fight until you can't fight no more. Right? When we ask God or your creator for help, right? We're not asking him to fix the problem. Well, sometimes we are, but we are asking for help so that we can keep putting one foot in front of the other and make our way through the problem. So you just hang in there, baby, and of course you're going to be on the prayer list. And everybody else over here in our half-acre homesteads has you on the prayer list too. Okay? I would love chickens, but my mosey neighbors would definitely turn me into the city. Well, I'll figure out a way of doing it without them seeing. And it's none of their business. And guess what? You could have raised, it only takes 16 weeks, 18 weeks to raise up a couple of meat birds. By the time you get a notice from the municipality and they send someone around to your door, they'll be ready for butchering. So go ahead. That's what I do. Better to beg forgiveness than ask permission. And put some chicken in your freezer. Right? Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. I tried water glassing eggs and I didn't like it. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. You know how we have our milk in bags, right? Well, my cousin Donna, whenever milk would go on sale, back in the days when milk would actually go on sale. You just finished your taxes, EJ? Me too. I just mailed off everything to our bookkeeper and hopefully, except for I still have to send out our medical receipts. But hey, paranormal, how's it going? Oh, now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, and I was at Angie's. Right. My cousin Donna, when milk would go on sale, she would buy these bags of milk and she would freeze them. And she would take them. There's 3 plastic bags. Remind me to talk about plastic waste with milk bags in a second. There's 3 plastic bags of milk inside it, and it's divided into like a gallon, right? So she would take them out of the bags, and I'd say, what are you doing? And she said, I'm freezing the milk. I said, can you freeze milk? She said, yeah, but don't leave it in the bag. Or when you try and thaw it, you will find they've rubbed against each other and poked holes. So you have to take them out of the bag and lay them flat, like on a cookie sheet or something, right? And I've never had luck. My milk has always separated. Well, I've gotten milk from the food bank in the years past, and it had been frozen in the cartons. So I said, I don't understand how it works. So Angie said, watch. She took the bag out of the freezer and she put it in the sink. She said, now, you don't open it until it's completely thawed, and you give it a shake. It's that simple. Hey, Sherry Leach, how are you, darling? Hi, Samantha. So that's kind of freezes milk with vanilla, sugar, and strawberries. Homemade ice cream, so easy. Well, there you go. But yeah, we're gonna. I've now got to get some 1/2-inch hardware cloth because I can't go to the races this summer if I am worried about my chickens. $12.99 for 25 pounds of flour at Costco here. $12.99 for 25. So that's $24 for 50 pounds. No, that's $26 for 50 pounds. And that's American, which means I'm probably going to end up paying $30 for a 50-pound bag. I'll get 3. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Sherry. Have some peppermint tea. If you got candy cane tea, but peppermint, oil of peppermint, or ginger in your tea, or ginger ale, flat ginger ale. Um, so yeah, Angie said, "See, look." By the end of the day, it was like she said, you just don't open it because somehow I guess when the air gets into it. And then somebody said to me about milk bags being a problem, my impact on the environment. And I went, A, I reuse those bags because they are food grade, heavy duty plastic. They got to be heavy to hold liquid, right? And so I rinse and reuse. And B, all of that plastic, if you melted it down and you melted down a milk jug that most of the United States use, then guess what? The bag's less plastic. It all goes by weight, right? My boyfriend in high school, his mom was from Germany. She brought the gallon of milk to barely a boil and poured it into a separate container regularly. What, you mean for freezing? There is less waste with those milk bags than the plastic jug. Exactly. Ever since you did the series on reusing items, I look at everything differently. Plastic is not being recycled here in the States the way most people think it is. No, 75% of what you put in the recycle bin ends up in a landfill. And when and you know what? They sell a lot of our recycled trash to third world countries because they can make money on it in the recycling industry. It's really, and you wonder where a lot of the plastic ends up in the oceans from. I would like to sign up for Patreon. Can you tell me how? Well, I will. Seashell will give you the link for Patreon, and I really don't know how to sign up because I am just I just run the thing. I don't know how to sign up because I didn't make myself a patron. But I think you go in and it's $5 a month American or $7.50 a month Canadian. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, we sit down and we have these lives are unlisted. So what you see and what you hear and what we talk about in those unlisted lives is for patrons only and never to be shared. Right? And then on Fridays, we cut loose and scrape off any negativity that's left from the week. And we listen to music and have a grand old visit. I clean the milk jugs well and then fill them with water for the garden too. There you go. Is Patreon the best way to support Mrs. Wolfe? Well, I'm going to tell you, Miranda. Thank you for asking, or Samantha. I'm going to. Yes, we do. We have a lot of fun. And sometimes I'll break out and put music on while we're, on a Wednesday or so. The only time I delete those videos, Freaky Friday gets deleted. It gets deleted within seconds of me shutting down the live stream. That's to protect the channel because I play, music that's copyright, right? And we get away with it for about an hour, right? But on Mondays and Wednesdays, I usually leave those videos that we do up. I leave them in Patreon so that people who've missed them can watch them. The only time I take down a video that I on Monday or Wednesday is when it was really a private conversation between me and the people that were there, and it's not something I actually wanted to repeat. So that's the only time I take down a Monday or Wednesday video, right? I do the same with my milk jugs. And yes, you asked is Patreon the best way to support me? It's one of the best ways to support me. If you tip me here, which is fine if you want a card reading, right? But if you tip me here, YouTube takes 30% of that. They take 30% of everything I make on YouTube. But if you join me on Patreon, okay, they only take 8%. And the only reason they take 8% is because I have a more comfortable platform. It's a little more fun. It's not as black and white, right? So they take 8%. So that's tomatoes. Our landlord in Chicago was from a farm and never let the girls help jar. when they were, oh my God, really? That's creepy. StreamYard is what other channels I use to bring others up on lives. Well, we can do this now on, did your Cooking with Cannabis on YouTube get deleted? I went to look for a recipe the other day and couldn't find it. Urban, I've moved to Rumble for my Cooking with Cannabis, and I've moved to Rumble for my rant videos because YouTube has just gotten really tight on censorship. So but it's going to take some time for those channels to take off because it's taken me, 13 years to build what I have on YouTube. And I can't just snap my fingers and say, I can't just snap my fingers and say, well, I need everybody to support me on Rumble, because I've only got like between two channels, I've only got like 400 subscribers on Rumble. And that's because people are, don't necessarily want to see my rants, don't necessarily want to know anything about cannabis, or they just haven't heard that, when I say the real me, I don't mean the real me, I mean all of me. Okay? You get my homesteading, my projects, my gardening, my canning, races, all these things. But there's a lot of things I would used to talk about on YouTube that I'm no longer allowed to. So I've moved it over to Rumble. And I had my Cooking with Cannabis channel was at 18,000 subscribers, 18,500, and was starting to make $20 a month when YouTube decided I shouldn't be allowed to make money on the content because it's still illegal in parts of the US, right? So, yogurt's so easy. I've got that video. Yogurt is so easy to make. You got a cooler? You take some you want to hear it? Does anybody want to hear how to make yogurt so you don't have to go look at my video? All right. You take milk and you put it in a double boiler and you warm the milk up until it is just starting to show a little bit of steam and tiny, teeny, tiny bubbles around the edges. Okay? Then you take that milk and you put it in ice water and make sure it's just baby bath water temperature. Not warm, not hot, baby bathtub. Tepid warm. Okay? Then you fill your jars. You fill your jars with the milk and you put a tablespoon of really good probiotic, plain unsweetened yogurt into the milk. And you stir, and you put a lid on it, and you put those jars in the cooler. And then you put that cooler in the tub or wherever, and you fill it with hot, as you can make it, tap water. And you fill it right over the jars, and you put the lid on the cooler, and you let that sit overnight. The next morning, you've got plain yogurt. It's that simple. I have a video on it. There you go. There you go. Seashell just put it up. Thank you, Seashell. You work so hard, darling. Yes, I do, because I dump what left from the grandkids. So, I used to make goat's milk yogurt for Howard all the time because I had goat's milk coming in all the time. Like the best milking goat I had was Busy. She was an Alpine. And she'd give me, I thought when she had her babies that I wasn't going to get any milk off her. And I thought the kids were weaned off of her. And when our power went out for 3 days, I went out and I tried to get some milk off of Busy. And by God, she gave me half a cup. And from then till the end of the summer, I had her up to 3/4 of a gallon a day after that. Hey, Heather, how are you, honey? No, it's Angie. Heather or Angie? Me and you, Acres. It's Angie, isn't it? No, it's Heather. So, hey, Tennessee girl. We had an auto accident, other person's fault. I had broken ribs. When I got home from the hospital, I wrapped myself with back support brace and wore it 24/7. It helped. Don't forget to breathe deep. That's a good idea, Vicky. That's a good idea, but you got to remember the deep breathing, right? Angie, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. There's so many Angies and Heathers in my life. It's not funny. You know what I mean? So anyway, Howie tapped the trees on Friday. So in the next week or two, you're going to see us boiling sap and making maple syrup. But it's going to be a video in progress unless you want Howie to go out and walk around the trees and show you what he did. But I would like to, kind of make that all into one video. So what is going to happen is over the next couple of weeks, we're going to collect sap, boil sap, bottle maple syrup, and when we're done, you'll get the whole video. Does that make sense? Caramel what? Caramel apple jam. Is such a thing possible? Is mine and hubby's name combined? MI for Mike and Ann for Angie. Okay. That will help me remember it. Thank you. That will help me remember it. So anyway, yeah, stuff is coming up, and I had a rough few weeks, but I got things to work on. Tomorrow, because I have tomorrow's video uploaded and Tuesday's video uploaded, which I finished doing today and uploading, I'm going to do some of the reading channel editing tomorrow and hopefully record the last 11 chapters between now and the end of the week so that I have time to finish the book before the summer season and all the fans are on and all that stuff, right? It's a recipe from Taste of Home. Wow. I want to volunteer to taste test. There you go. You give it as presents. Well, that's a great idea. I would love that recipe. I use vanilla sugar on everything. I make that sweet muffins. You know what? I made vanilla sugar as a Christmas gift once. I gave it to Arthur and Mel. And I took the vanilla bean and I scraped out the vanilla bean into the sugar and I mixed it, right? A couple of vanilla beans. And then I broke the vanilla beans, a couple of vanilla beans in half, and I stuck them down in the sugar and put a lid on it. So I guess one day Arthur forgot all about it. And one day, like 6 months later or something, he's making a cup of tea and he reached for the sugar and there was none. And he went, oh, right, sugar. And he did it and had a cup of tea and he goes, wow. And then he looked at the jar and he goes, I forgot that was vanilla sugar, but was it ever good? So, I mean, people love that kind of gifts. And especially when they come back as a surprise later on because they forgot they had them, eh? You can do orange sugar for tea. Really, do you use the peels? Or what's going on, Celeste? I missed something there. Hey, Black Sheep, how's it going, sweetheart? So yeah, this has been, it's been a busy weekend. Oh, and when I had that 3-hour power nap on Friday, I got up and I swept all my floors and I did laundry and I unloaded and loaded in the dishwasher and then I vacuumed and I put up the light cage. It was one of those days. And then I did the Freaky Friday Live. And then when I woke up yesterday, I could barely walk. But it was an easy day in Angie's because all I had to do was cook supper and everything was there and her daughter was there to help me. So it was, hey, Andrew, how's it going? Thank you for my multi-biscuit tea. That's my breakfast, eh? I have that. If I have toast for breakfast, I have a multi-biscuit tea with it for dunking my toast in, right? Can somebody tell me what milk toast is? I've heard somebody say, oh, I love my milk toast. When I want comfort food, it's milk toast. I have no idea what that is. Do you pour milk over toast? And like, do you just cube up toast and do you butter it? Do you put sugar on it? What? So anyway, um, Matt took the dogs outside. He's gone now. Well, good for Matt. Well, listen, folks, it's 20 to 5 here, and I want to go and spend some time with hubby. His races are finished, and I'm going to make a cheese vegetable omelet for supper. No, I'm not going to videotape it. It's really easy, right? I'm going to make a cheese vegetable omelet for supper with toast, and we're going to have dinner. Toast with warm milk and sugar. So, like, it's like Welsh rabbit. Well, Welsh rarebit I used to make. There's many ways to make it, and I've made a video on it. But Welsh rarebit when I was a kid was 2 pieces of toast, buttered, and then you cube them up, and you put some sharp cheddar cheese in a pot with a bit of water or milk, and you melted it into a liquid, and you poured it all over the toast cubes and added pepper, and you ate it. Ooh, that might actually be really good. Well, I'll wait until I make bread. I'm going to be making bread soon. But for all those who care to, I'm going to say a closing prayer now. And it's just spiritual nourishment. You draw on your faith, I draw on mine. And when we get down to it and our hearts and hands are locked, all we're doing is sharing, the Creator's divine light and love, right? It's that simple. Anything I say, if it doesn't jive with what you just take what you want and leave the rest, right? Okay? So for all those who care, and if you're not staying, there's no judgment. So I'm going to go do this. Mwah, mwah. For those who don't want to stay, take care. God bless. For the rest, for all those who care to, please help me close with a bit of spiritual nourishment. All right, let's do some deep cleansing breaths, especially the broken rib person. Okay? All right? Pull it in as deep as you can. And if you're pushing it out, push it out with a nice controlled force so that you're really getting the crap out, right? And one more time, because the third time's the charm. Hey, God, it's me, Margaret. I'm sorry. You knew it was going to come one of these days. Hey, God, creator and source of all, how are you today? Thank you, God, for the energy that we needed to get our things done this weekend, Friday, Saturday. Today, we're going to relax. Thank you, God, for the roof over my head and the blankets in the dryer that are going right back on my bed. Thank you for all my YouTube friends and family who lift me up on a daily basis and give me a reason for getting out of bed every day, other than my family. Thank you, God, for getting me through some really dark days this last week, and some really painful days, and some really emotional days. I felt your presence, God, and I'm really grateful. You always let me know that there's always a way around the brick wall. But God, not everybody, sometimes people get overwhelmed with fear and pain and abandonment and social issues and anxieties and illness and broken bones and looking after ill or old elderly loved ones. And sometimes, God, it gets really difficult to remember to sit down and say, thank you, God, for giving me the energy to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Because if that's all I get from God today, thank you, God. Thank you for letting me get out of bed under my own steam. Every day, I find a new reason to be grateful. And always repeating the gratitude for the old ones. So, God, we lift those people that are really struggling. We lift those people up to you, God. and let the sunshine and warmth of your love trickle down over them like warm honey, so that they get some peace. They get a moment to take a breath. They get a moment and find a reason to be grateful, if only for that moment, right? Because we know, God, that when we're counting our blessings, it's really hard to be negative. So thank you, God, for carrying us through another day, another week, and another morning. Man. And if my went for a little bit, it's my jaw kind of clicked. I love you guys. Shalom. Peace be with you. Miigwech, merry meet. Blessed be. Walk in the light of God's love. Whatever language you use to talk to your faith or to communicate to the source of your faith, I know that when someone talks to me with love, I always hear it better, right? Love is always the answer. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you all on Thursday night. You guys. Take care. Mwah. All you need is love. All you need is love.